The air in your command office beneath the Hotel Maurice feels less like a protected bunker and more like a tomb. It's August 1944. Outside, the sounds of celebratory, or are they warning, gunshots crackle, getting closer. A sound like popcorn kernels exploding on a vast, hungry griddle. You, General Dietrich von Choltitz, military governor of Paris, are a man trained your entire life to follow orders, a career soldier from a long line of Prussian officers. Yet here you are, a breath away from committing the one act of military madness that might stain your soul more permanently than all the campaigns you've survived. You feel the slight phantom ache in your right knee, a souvenir from a Russian shrapnel blast near Smolensk, and it's a more present, palpable reality than the tinny, screeching voice of the Führer, Adolf Hitler, still echoing in your ears from the last transmission. Quote, "Paris must not fall into the enemy's hand except lying in complete debris." That was the direct order. Destroy it. Burn it. Reduce the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, and all 74 historic bridges spanning the Seine to dust and rubble. You know the exact coordinates of the massive caches of explosives you were ordered to place, and, more terrifyingly, you know the location of the wires. Right now, you are sitting on the physical epicenter of this decision. You are the trigger. You are the final, awful arbiter of whether Paris, La Ville Lumière, the city of light, becomes a smoking cinder. The weight of that decision is not a metaphor. It's a heavy, leaden atmosphere pressing down on the back of your neck. The callback seed, the very air in the office carries the distinct, oily smell of the explosives you personally inspected, a scent that clings to your uniform like a shroud. You can almost feel the rough braided detonator cord beneath your fingers, waiting. Brennen? Brennt Paris? Is it burning? Does Paris burn? Hitler demanded this on the phone, a query less like a question and more like the twitch of a predatory beast. You had to feign technical difficulties just to buy yourself a few precious hours. If you're honest, the man really did have terrible phone etiquette. No hello, just screaming demands. This is a mainstream fact of history. The Führer's obsession with Paris's destruction as a final, spiteful gesture. But for you, the order makes no sense. Zero. No military utility. Blowing up the bridges won't stop the tanks, it will just create massive bottlenecks for your own retreat, and leave you trapped between the vengeful unified forces of the French resistance, whom you vastly underestimated, and the rapidly advancing Allies. As a Prussian officer, you valued order, efficiency, and strategy. This is just pure theatrical vengeance. It's a quirky, fringe fact that you were, by many accounts, much more focused on securing a safe, orderly retreat route for your remaining 20,000 troops than you were on enacting the demolition. The demolition was a distraction from good military practice. You are a career soldier, not a pyromaniac. You look at the map of Paris spread out before you, tracing the path of the Seine with a finger that feels strangely detached. The river, the famous bridges, Pont Neuf, Pont Alexandre Trait, each one is a landmark, not just a logistical crossing point. Surely the Führer wouldn't mind if you just waited until the last possible second, right? You muse, trying to rationalize the delay to the stern, silent portrait of your ancestors staring down from the invisible military pantheon in your mind. The French resistance, or the Forces Françaises d'Intérieur, FFI, are already fighting street by street. An insurgency that ignited faster than a wet wick after you unwisely shot a couple of their radio operators. This is where the plot thickens, or as historians still debate, where your personal motives cross paths with cold calculation. Was your refusal an act of high moral courage, or was it a pragmatic realization that setting off the bombs would only lead to a swift, bloody end for you and your men at the hands of the FFI before the Allies even arrived? You had a secret line of communication established with a Swedish diplomat, Raoul Nordling. A man's cool, non-committal demeanor could make an entire regiment relax. Nordling acts as your bridge, carrying messages to both the resistance and the approaching American forces, essentially brokering a surrender while you play for time. You even managed to negotiate the release of hundreds of political prisoners, a small act of grace, perhaps, or another bargaining chip. It's really helpful when the enemy has a decent HR department, even in wartime. You take a heavy, almost shuddering breath, filling your lungs with the atmosphere of suffocating dread. The moral weight of holding this power, the power to annihilate a world treasure, is crushing. You think of your family, your wife, your sons. What kind of legacy would you leave them? The general who burned Paris? A name synonymous with historical vandalism? You could be shot for disobedience, but you'll certainly be known forever. History remembers the man who carried out the mad order, but history forgives the man who refused it. The orders are clear. Defiance is treason, but the conscience, suddenly, is clearer. Destruction is madness. You recall the words of the German Field Marshal Gunther von Kluge, who had attempted to assassinate Hitler and had failed spectacularly. Ich konnte dies Befehle von Hitler nicht mehr ausführen. I could no longer carry out Hitler's criminal orders. You understand the sentiment perfectly now. You are not a Nazi true believer. You are simply a soldier trying to end the war with a shred of decency, or at least a minimal body count. You receive an urgent report. Allied General Jacques Leclerc's 2nd Armored Division is fighting its way into the city center. The time for waiting is over. You have to choose the immediate catastrophic end of a historic city or the ignominious, difficult end of your military career. The oily smell of the hidden explosive seems to intensify, a cloying, disgusting scent urging you to choose the path of destruction. But your hand, the one that isn't rubbing your aching, phantom knee, rests on the telephone, preparing to contact Nordling one last time. You have the bombs, you have the detonation codes, but you, Dietrich von Choltitz, will not turn the city of light into the city of ash. The choice is made. You meet General Leclerc in the Montparnasse railway station. The atmosphere is tense, thick with suspicion and the smell of gunpowder and exhaust fumes. You, the conquering German general of 1940, are now the defeated German general of 1944. You hand over your weapons and sign the surrender documents. As you are led away, a prisoner, you feel a massive, heavy weight lift from your chest. Paris is safe. The Louvre, with millions of stories and priceless treasures, the soaring, elegant structure of the Eiffel Tower, the beautiful bridges, all are intact. You have defied the Führer, and you have perhaps saved your own soul and certainly saved the City of Light for the world. You never did press that detonator. Hitler's rage was immediate and venomous when he found out. He sent his security service, the Sicherheitsdienst, to investigate your family, hoping to make you pay for your defiance, a horrifying act that ultimately did not succeed. You would spend time as a high-value prisoner, and eventually, after the war, you would be released. For the rest of your life, you will be known not for your 4 years of occupation, but for your 4 hours of refusal. You are the general who saved Paris. And tonight, as the city erupts in freedom and fireworks instead of fire and explosions, you finally sleep soundly. End of script. Sweet dreams.